You can't make this up. 5 days before Google Stadia is scheduled to go offline, the company decides to launch a brand new video game. I swear, Stadia has died and came back from the dead so many times, it's starting to feel like a Spanish novella. Stadia! Pensé que estabas muerto. Sí. Te amo y nunca voy a morir. Yeah. Let's talk about it.
Are you listening?
All right, welcome back, folks. Obviously, let's talk about Google Stadia, which before we jump into it, side note, those of you in the back, we need to update the last Stadia video that we posted titled My Last Stadia Video, because this will likely become our last Google Stadia video. Now, if you're not aware, Stadia is Google's cloud gaming platform, which is scheduled to go offline on January 18th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And since the announcement of Stadia's shutdown, the platform has pretty much gone radio silent on all social platforms. That is up until today, when out of the blue, Stadia dropped a new blog post announcing that a brand new game is now available on Google Stadia, because Grand Theft Auto 5 is finally available on Google Stadia, baby! He would say if the platform wasn't shutting down in less than 5 days. Now, the brand new game added to Google Stadia is the Worms game, which is a take on the old school free mobile game where players will take control of a worm who must eat the corresponding dots to grow in length without hitting various obstacles. Now, I get it, this isn't Elden Ring, this isn't Grand Theft Auto 5, but I will say there's a little backstory behind this game that makes it feel a little sentimental. Worms game was the first game to come to Google Stadia. You see, before Stadia existed, the Worms game ran on Stadia technology to allow the team working on what would become Google Stadia to test out features prior to the service's launch in 2019. In fact, Stadia wrote in the game's description, Worms game won't win Game of the Year, but the Stadia team spent a lot of time playing it, and we thought we'd share it with you. Now, as far as I can tell, this game is available to everyone, and I'm sure that Stadia players will be playing this game until the platform sets sail on January 18th. However, as exciting as a new game for Stadia players to play is, that's not the only news that Stadia had in store for its players today, as Google is now offering leasable Stadia servers to players worldwide. He said knowing that it would upset a few people out there, but he knew that they wouldn't be mad very long because there's an equally cool announcement that he needs to talk about. Bluetooth support is finally coming to Stadia controllers, with Stadia confirming in their blog post next week we'll be releasing a self-serve tool to enable Bluetooth connections on your Stadia controller. We will share details next week on how to enable this feature. Scratch the whole "this is my last Stadia" video, because we got another one coming, folks. Now, this is clearly good news for Stadia players because it means that Stadia controllers will now serve a purpose outside of being leashed to a USB cable. And look, I've been very vocal about Stadia's shutdown and my disappointment, but you know, after receiving my full refund, we're now getting Bluetooth support on controllers, and we're even getting free PC copies from Ubisoft, which I don't think anyone really expected, but it's happening, and I'm all in for that. All of this definitely softens the overall disappointment that I have around the platform. But again, it brings us back to that just overall Google experience. When Stadia announced that they were shutting down, they took care of the player base by saying, we're gonna refund you. When the player base said, hey, the controllers don't have Bluetooth, so they're just gonna become e-waste, Stadia said, we'll take care of it, and clearly they did. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't wanna say thank you to Google because Google, you caused all of this, but I would like to say thank you to the people working on Stadia. From the beginning to the end, you took care of us as a player base, and that means a lot. Just a friendly reminder to everyone watching, Stadia will be shutting down on January 18th. You have less than 5 days to enjoy the platform. Download your player data, enjoy the games while you can, and keep on gaming.